Welcome to biology class 8. Today I am going to teach you all the endocrine system in humans. Okay, so just like you have learned circulatory system, respiratory system and so many systems in your body, endocrine system is also a complex system of organs, okay, that work together to release tiny chemical messengers located inside a body called hormones. Okay, so these hormones are chemical substances released by the endocrine glands. Okay, so they are so tiny that they cannot even be seen with the naked eye. All right, so these hormones, they have various functions to perform. We will deal with them one by one. All right, so the endocrine system, it works in coordination with the nervous system. You all have studied nervous system, isn't it? So to regulate different body functions like metabolism, growth and reproduction. Okay, so the hormones are secreted by endocrine glands that together make up the endocrine system. Okay, so this system, like in our body, okay, there are two types of glands present in human body, which are known as endocrine gland and exocrine gland. So the exocrine gland, let us first see what exocrine gland is. Okay, you all have learned about so many exocrine glands, but today I am going to tell you the difference between exocrine glands and endocrine glands. All right. So the exocrine gland, exocrine gland are the glands, okay, whose secretion, okay, these glands also secrete. So their secretion, okay, goes directly into the duct, okay, into a tube, okay, this duct, it goes and then it goes to the target organ. All right, so wherever it has to perform its function, it is secreted in that organ. All right, so there it flows, this secretion flows through a duct. All right, so that's why it's known as exocrine gland. Okay, so here you can see that this is the gland. Okay, so this is the fluid which is secreted by the cells. These are the cells of the exocrine gland, and when it secretes, it goes it moves through this duct, okay, to the target organ where it has to perform the function. Okay, so examples of exocrine glands are sweat glands, salivary glands, mammary glands, and so many other glands are there. Okay, so these glands, you know what sweat gland secretes? It secretes sweat, isn't it? Salivary gland secretes saliva, mammary gland secretes milk. So all this secretion flows through a duct. All right, and it goes to that organ where it has to perform its function accordingly. Okay, now we move on to the endocrine glands. So the endocrine glands, as you can see in this picture, okay, in this diagram which I have drawn, these the cells here, this is the endocrine tissue which consists of the cells. Okay, so there is no duct. As it secretes directly into the hormones are directly released in the blood. These are the blood vessels which I have drawn. Okay, this is a blood vessel. So from here the secretion goes directly into the blood. All right, so there is no duct here. It is a ductless gland. Endocrine glands are ductless glands. Okay, the secretions are directly released into the blood. Like there are so many endocrine glands: thyroid gland, adrenal gland, pituitary gland, and so many glands are there which we are going to do one by one. Okay, so as I have told you what endocrine gland secretes, it secretes hormones. So you all must know what is a hormone. Okay, so hormone is a chemical substance secreted by an endocrine gland which is directly poured into the bloodstream and acts on a target organ or cell. All right, so when this secretion that is secreted by the endocrine cells, okay, it is known as the hormones. Alright, so it's a chemical substance and it has various functions to perform. Okay, there are different kinds of hormones secreted by different endocrine glands. Okay, so let us start with the first endocrine gland that is there in your syllabus. Okay, that is thyroid gland. Okay, so this is how your thyroid gland looks like. And this is the front view I have drawn, all right, of thyroid gland. It is where it's the thing of each gland you have to remember is, okay, you have to remember the location and the function of the hormones secreted by these glands, all right, and what happens if these hormones are not secreted in a sufficient amount. So what are the ailments? Those things you are going to learn in this chapter, all right. So thyroid gland, as I said, first we will just learn the location of the thyroid gland. So where it is located, here I have drawn a figure here. Okay, so it is located on either side of the windpipe. Okay, so this trachea here I have drawn, this trachea is known as the windpipe. Okay, so this trachea you have, which is the windpipe, so it is located like this. Okay, this is known as thyroid gland. Okay, just below the larynx. Larynx is the voice box, isn't it? The vibration of which produces sound. All right. So here just below the larynx, you have the location here I have shown. Okay, just below the larynx, you have this thyroid gland, which is located on either side of the windpipe, which is known as trachea. All right. So this thyroid gland, okay, it secretes thyroxine. Hormone secreted by thyroid gland is known as thyroxine. Okay, so here you have the back view of the thyroid. Okay, so some of you must have seen a person with this kind of swelling in the neck. Okay, so this ailment is known as simple goiter. This is because of the lack of iodine in the food. The thyroxine is not produced in a sufficient amount. All right. So iodine, you know, it is present mostly in salt. Okay, so you should be taking iodized salt in order to get sufficient amount of iodine. Okay, so next we come to the another ailment, cretinism. All right, so cretinism is also an abnormal development takes place. Okay, it's a condition like which affects the growth in children, and the children will not grow properly. Okay, there is a mental retardation also. Okay, the brain development will also not take place properly. Okay, so this is due to again the lack of iodine in the food. Okay, the lack of secretion of thyroxine. Okay, so another thing you have is myxedema. This is another ailment. Okay, so this ailment, in this condition, okay, it usually affects the adult. Okay, and this thyroid does not function properly. Okay, in this condition the person becomes sluggish with the swelling of the face and hands. All right, so the hands and the face swelling will take place, and then a person becomes very sluggish. Okay, now we come to over secretion. So this is the back view of the thyroid gland which I have drawn. So you can see the pharynx here. You know what's a pharynx, isn't it? You have done respiratory system as well as digestive system. So pharynx is a common passage for both esophagus and for both food and air. Okay, so esophagus is the food pipe and trachea is the windpipe. So it's a common passage which bifurcates into these two tubes, which is known as trachea and esophagus, windpipe and food pipe. All right, so this is the location of the thyroid gland. Okay, so the thyroid gland from the back view, it looks like this. Okay, now let us now come to the important part of this thing, okay, which is the hormones secreted. So your hormones secreted by this gland is known as thyroxine. Okay, please remember the name and the spellings. Learn the spellings. All right. So thyroxine is the iodine containing protein. All right, the chemical substance, okay, present is the iodine, okay, inside thyroxine, which is very important for our body. All right, so what are the functions of thyroxine? Thyroxine, what does it do? It speeds up the rate of most of the activities in our body. So whatever activities, metabolic activities is happening inside our body, this thyroxine, it helps to speed up the rate of most of the activities that takes place inside our body. And it also stimulates growth in infants. That means this thyroxine, okay, which is an iodine containing protein, so this helps in the growth and development of the infants. Okay. So here we have, if this thyroxine, okay, it is not produced in a sufficient amount, all right, if it is not, if there is an insufficient secretion of this thyroxine, okay, due to some deficiency in the nutrients, all right, due to the deficiency of iodine in the food, okay, if there is this secretion of thyroxine does not take place properly, okay, so very less thyroxine will be produced in the body, okay, if you lack iodine in your food. Okay, so then a person suffer from these kind of ailments. Number one, simple goiter. So simple goiter, okay, it is an ailment where your thyroid gland is enlarged, right? It is enlarged and it becomes very big, okay, and it even can appear from the outside, okay, it appears as a swelling in the neck. So next we come to over secretion of the hormones, okay. Over secretion means excess of thyroxine secreted, so it may cause kind of goiter, okay. So another goiter you have known as the exophthalmic goiter, okay, the one which I showed you the picture, that is simple goiter. This is exophthalmic goiter, okay. So exophthalmic goiter. So in this kind of goiter, a person, like if there is excess of secretion of thyroxine, a person having problem of over secretion, okay, shows that there is a increase in metabolic rate. So you know, I have told you, it speeds up the metabolic rate. So if there is excess secretion, then what happens is there is this, it speeds up in such a rate that the person will suffer from rapid heartbeat, all right, the shortness of the breath, and the eyes also, it gets protruded in this kind of ailment. So here you can see in this picture the protruding eyes, isn't it? So this person is said to be suffered from the exophthalmic goiter, in which there is increased metabolic rate, increased heartbeat, and even weight loss and general restlessness. Okay, so that's why we say these hormones are very important for our body, okay, and it should be present in our body in such an amount that it helps the body, okay, to do the activities properly, okay. So because you know that insufficient also causes some ailments, and if there is over secretion of hormones also, so there will be some abnormal activities going inside. So likewise we have other endocrine glands like adrenal glands, pancreas, pituitary gland, all right. So all these things will do, all the endocrine glands will do one by one, okay. So this much for today's class, and in the next class we'll do adrenal glands, all right, and other glands also. So today was just an introduction to this class, and we did thyroid gland. So just do the revision properly at home, all right. Try to understand, watch this video, and if you cannot understand anything, then you can call me in my personal number, all right, or you can send a message like any part you did not understand, all right. So this is all for today. Thank you.